Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode number 94. I am Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
And today we get to talk about big, hairy goals.
I don't want hairy goals.
No?
No. I want clean-shaven goals.
I've heard about, the BHAG before, the big, hairy goals. You ever heard of that phrase before?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Today on the podcast, let's see if it gets hairy or not. Keep watching.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Creating Connections Podcast. And today we get to talk about goals. Of course, it's just the turn of the new year. And I think it's officially past the point where we can say Happy New Year, right? I think that gets a swift kick.
Yeah, I think we are past that point.
Yeah, you get a swift kick if you say, I won't say where, but if you say Happy New Year at this point. Ow, what are you doing? Oh, okay.
Can't kick you from here. I probably would have, but.
Yeah, so Vicki, you came across.
I did. I watched a video actually on New Year's Eve when it was still okay to say Happy New Year.
Right.
But the message of it has really stayed with me. And I think it was because it was such a simple analogy, if you will, and a good visual. It just really resonated with me. Delatoro McNeil is a speaker that I follow on Facebook, and he's done some cool stuff for speakers. He's a speaker coach and trainer as well. And he actually does whole workshops on goal setting, like whole weekends talking about just goal setting.
Nice.
But he did a Facebook Live broadcast on New Year's Eve. And often, I admit, I don't have time to stop and watch those when they're live. And
yeah, I mean, who does Facebook Live broadcasts? I mean, really.
I'm certainly not watching yours live in the middle of the night for me. But I'll go back and I'll watch them later. But his, I happened to pop on right in the middle of it. And he had been on a bike ride. And he said he was passing these fields where there were just all of these big soccer fields and these goals. And all of a sudden, this illustration just kind of came to him. And he stopped and decided to share it with us. So he's sitting there leaning against his bike, in his workout wear and talking about goals. And the point of the story was, in soccer, you have one goal. You don't have 50 goals where you're trying to score and trying to keep track. And can you imagine that game? That'd be a whole different game if you had to get one goal and 50 different goals. And I just went, oh my gosh, that is so simple, but so difficult. And unfortunately, so contrary to the way I feel so much of the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it really resonated with me, that I need to focus on one goal.
I think this is just, from experiences and networking and things like that. But guys I look up to in the industry, guys that, have things together where I want to go to is, the Matt Radicellis, the Jason Clocks. And from that standpoint, their organization is great from that standpoint. And they have the year of blank. And they set a theme for the year. And while
love that,
I can understand, some people may like, really, that seems kind of whatever, but I personally like that. I think that it helps maintain a company focus, which I think is crucial to the success of the company. As long as the team all knows together what direction they're rowing in.
Well, that's just it. It's not saying that you don't have shorter to-do lists and action items and other, micro goals within, but to be focused on that one direction. And please don't start singing.
Oh, come on. It was that right there. I'm like,
I knew that's where you went as soon as
what direction
out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But, and I've heard Alan Berg talk about this before to, where in that context where I heard him say it, it was about having a really short to-do list.
Yeah.
You've got 50 things on your to-do list, you feel like you don't ever get very much crossed off. Or if you're like me, you start adding stuff to the list because you want to just have documentation of things that you already did. You want to be able to check it off.
Right.
But he has talked about how that is one of the tools that has helped him be so efficient and productive and get books written and products created and grow his business, is because he focuses on one thing at a time. So just, I've heard that concept before, but there's something just visually about seeing him broadcast this in front of a single soccer goal that just really hit home to me.
Well, and I know he talked about how the goal is large, right? It's a large.
It is. It's a big goal compared to like hockey or, basketball, where you've got
field hockey. Yeah. And, soccer is such a good analogy because you have, 10 different players, I believe, on the field at a time. I could be wrong. I used to coach soccer.
It was always different in the kid leagues. I never followed professional soccer.
But you have a team, and the team is working on one goal. And the one goal is to get the ball in the net. Yes. Period.
And people have their different jobs. They have their positions that they play in their area of focus.
If you're a striker, if you're a wing, if you're a back, whatever you are in the soccer field, you have to be that line of defense or offense. And here's the beautiful thing, right? The ball is the task, right? So the ball is the task. And now you, the team, the offense and the defense, move up and down the field with the task, and your final goal is to put the ball in the net, complete the task, complete the goal, if you will, pardon the pun.
I think there's so much in that one simple analogy. And I've also been noticing, and maybe it's just within my circle of friends, or you guys tell me that if you're watching, are you seeing this trend also? A lot of people this month posting about choosing a single word of the year. Right. And I know I have a few friends that I know have done that in the past, and I've even gone into their homes. I'm thinking of one girlfriend in particular who has it on a little chalkboard where she and her husband and their kids each pick a word for the year that they focus on. But I've been seeing it all over Facebook this month when people are saying, oh yeah, this is my word for 2017, and this is what I'm going to focus on. And I think whether you jump on that bandwagon and you do that and you put one word and hang it above, your workspace or whatever, just the idea of choosing that one thing and articulating it in some way, writing it down, posting it somewhere, being really clear, whether it's a personal goal or a goal for your team or your company. I know it's breaking the analogy. Maybe you can have a personal goal and a goal for your business.
I think so.
Don't have it be one goal. Can we play two games at the same time?
Yeah, I totally think you can. And to me, I want to share another analogy for you. And
it always scares me when he goes off script this far.
Yeah, it's okay. It'll be good. So 3 things. We talked about the one goal that you have with the soccer analogy, right? Mm-hmm. And the gentleman's name again?
Delatoro McNeil II.
Delatoro McNeil II. Okay, thank you. Great. I watched the video and I loved his authenticity in the video. He had great authenticity. Like I could tell it was from the heart,
I've watched his whole TV series that's available on YouTube. It's like super nerdy for speakers. It's called The Keynote, if anybody else is that nerdy.
Check that out.
Resources.
So 3 things that I want to encourage you to think about. I want you to, this is courtesy of my wife, by the way. This is something she uses in her daily career, but I just want to give credit where credit is due, right? So I want you to start something. What are you going to start in 2017? You're going to start X. Mm-hmm. Start being more thankful. You're going to start eating healthier. You're going to start, something. Then I want you to stop something. Mm-hmm. What are you going to stop? Is it you're going to, I know for me, I'm going to stop communicating via text or message if it takes more than 3 times to get a point across.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call you, whatever it might be. So start something, stop something. So start and stop. And then finally, what are you going to continue? What are you going to continue doing? You're going to continue a project. You're going to continue working out. You're going to continue to make your daily visits to your grandmother or weekly visits to your grandmother, whatever it might be that you have for a continue.
I like it.
So think about that as you move forward. You know, what's that one goal you want to remain focused on for 2017? And what are 3 things you can do to help get you to that goal? What can you start, stop, and continue?
I love that. And and I've heard Michelle say part of that before, not in those terms, but yeah, she's good at that. And the other thing that I've been thinking about that I've heard you say to your kids is the listen and focus thing.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's what I've been thinking about. My one big goal, or if I'm going to do like the word for the year, I think mine needs to be focus. Because as a busy working mom who works primarily from home while raising 4 children
right.
and juggling multiple businesses, I've always taken pride in my ability to multitask. And I think there's a lot of unhealthiness there. And not that it's wrong that I have different roles that I wear.
No.
When I am being mom,
be mom.
I want to focus on that. When I am being, Vicky, the personality trainer, I need to be focused clearly on that role. When I'm in the game of running my wedding business, then I focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think I can have, multiple things going on, but I want to just do one at a time.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about that, stop, start, and continue, I think that's some of those bad habits that I have of flipping back and forth or trying to do too many things at once or not respecting. Oh yeah, it's family time. Okay, well, I don't really want to watch this TV show. I'm just going to sneak in the office and do a little more work. It doesn't matter if I don't like the TV show my kids pick to watch.
Right.
They invited me to watch it with them. I even have a couple that still fit in my lap. Not for much longer, but I need to be fully focused on that. My work will still be there after they go to bed or when I get up the next morning or next time I go back in the office. But that's my goal.
Agreed.
Stop trying to do too many different things at once and be fully invested where I am in that moment. Important.
Very important. That's Creating Connections podcast, episode number 94. And we are going to be presenting coming up at Mobile Beat Las Vegas. If you don't have your tickets yet, get your tickets now. What are you waiting for? Seriously. MobileBeatLasVegas.com is where you go to get your tickets. And then you're going to want to sign up for what, Vicky?
Our deep dive workshop. I am more excited about this than ever. We have made so much progress in really crafting out the nitty gritty of what we're going to be doing that day. I am just super, super excited to get in a room full of professionals and go through this process and go through these activities and discussions together. I can't wait.
If you have taken one of our previous sales trainings, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah.
Not that those aren't good too, but
no, they are. But
this is different.
This is
and
different.
I'm excited.
And I think that this workshop will make you think. And if you don't get your full money's worth out of it, I'll refund you. Period. End of the workshop, you tell me, bitch, it wasn't worth my money. I'll cut you a check. It's not.
He'll give you his half back. I'll keep mine.
Okay. Let's go to deepdivemblv.eventbrite.com. You can also access it on our creatingconnections.biz website or my tailoredsales.com website. Either one, you should be able to pick it up and hit the workshop from there. Get your tickets now, though, because it will sell out. We will run out of space because it is an individualized workshop. There's only a little bit of space left. So get your tickets now if you haven't got them already. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate you on the podcast. If you like things, comment down below. If you hate it, just don't say anything at all. You know what your mother said,
please.
right?
We don't want to hear from you.
Mother said, don't say anything nice. Everything nice to say, you don't say anything at all, right? Yep. Is that what she said?
Happy.
Thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you next week with Creating Connections.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicky Musni. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.